my name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. So today we're going to be working away on the old shovel here of Aaron's, and he came down and visited me, and when we discussed some things and we talked about the long front end, and what he had was so long it was just unusable, and I really didn't want to put something on it that would be that sort of dangerous running. So we had mocked up a set of 35 mils that I had here, which were about 8 inches shorter than that, to show him. And once he sort of got the visual of it, then he understood. So here's where we're at. We stuck the brake wheel on here and tried to get it sort of in place to see where we're at. It's going to be a close fit for everything, but we knew that. I've got this up in the air, probably 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches up in the air there, to try and compensate for the tire. It won't be quite that much, but it will be some. So what I want to try and do is drop it down and just give you an idea of how far and how much of an angle we're going to have to be dealing with now. Comes a point where it's just too much. You know, it gets to be a bit ridiculous. But I've shortened this front end that I have here is a later one, and it's shortened it up considerably. Now it'll still need a bunch of work. It still needs fork stops made for it. Something to gear up at the brake with as well is something that we have to initially deal with. So somehow we've got to make something that'll come up here and lock off of these and go down and lock onto that, what I believe to be the plate locking bolt down in there. Now what we're going to try and do is just to see if I can lower it a little bit. So that sort of gives you an idea of what it's looking like. I don't think you dare go up much taller than that. If we go to use the other front end, it's so long that like this is going to go up another 6-8 inches in the air, and I really think that that's too much. It's pushing it out too far. There's a limit. There's a limit. There's a few things that I'm not real happy about here with these bars. I have no faith that those are going to stay in place at all. I mean, he should really, if he wants that kind of look, he should really look at like a T-bar or something like that. But that will be treacherous. I think sitting up as high as we dare go there, it's quite an angle on it. But we'll have to wait till he comes down and has a look and see. So what do we got? 10 to 5. That looks like about it today. So it was great. Aaron got to come down and have a look at it. We discussed things up and down and set it down, and pretty quickly became obvious it was a little bit more than he wanted to do. So we've made some corrections on some things. He's happy with it. I mean, whatever you do for someone is always a collaboration. You have your own thing in your own mind, what you want to see. They have it in their own mind what they want to see. So you got to kind of work together and make sure you end up with something that's safe and still meeting their tastes. So we're going to work away on it. So he brought me down some tubes and decided to go 6 inches over with his existing wide glide front end. What he failed to remember, I think, that through the times and over the years, I know that dealing with him, that he had changed front ends numerous times. When I got these tubes, they are 41 millimeter tubes, 6 over, from 49 to 76 FL. Unfortunately, what he has on here is like the 77, 78 up to 84 type of front end on it. So these tubes certainly won't work and won't be applicable. In order to try and save a few bucks, I happen to have an older front end with a set of fork legs and stuff to fit those tubes. So I'll probably swap them out some stuff there and see if we can get them going on the road and move along with the project. All right, So today we're gonna get these old FL tubes and have a look at them and see if we can clean them up and put new tubes in them and oil and stuff and get them ready to go and run on the bike. All right, let's get at it. So the first thing we'll do is get these off. He's got a different set of handlebars for here now, and I feel better about that because these were really a little death trap. There's some things about looking cool, but then there's some things about looking dangerous too. Now we're just trying to slide this thing off. I don't want to take the caps off because the springs and everything will come out. Just make a nightmare for me. Only that last little bit. Almost there. Just should be disconnected. I should be able to knock them trees down. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. All right. Now that we've got those off, we can slip the Y-Glide front end on the pieces. I'm going to grease up the front end a bit there before I put them on, and we shall take it from there. So we're just going to grease up our neck bearings a little bit here. There's lots in there, but it never hurts to try and force some in there while you've got them apart. And when we put our neck top nut on, we have to pay attention because the step sides on the two sides are different. And the large side goes down and the small side goes up so that it can fit into your top triple three. Just leave it like that for now. Now it's time to go in there and address the tubes and get them ready to assemble and put on and see where we're at. So we've got our fork tubes here for the FLH, and they've got to be taken apart to start with. So we'll use our little protectors on our jaws here. And I'm just going to clamp the tube in the jaws so that I can get the nut off the bottom. Now most of these forks have an Allen head in the bottom here. On these, on anything newer than these, generally up, these are pre-77 types. These ones have a little 1/2 inch at the bottom. And I don't know if we're going to be able to break it loose there. I might have to hold on to it. No. Okay, I have to grab the fork leg. Now with the nut off the bottom, we should be able to pull the fork tube out. There we go. And she'll slide right out. He's a little grimy in there, and these are a little rusty in there. We gotta clean these out. They look okay down in there. So, So there's a little clip in here. There we go. Get some of the rust out of there. Try to get all the rust out of it. It'll have to be out of there. I'll have to sand that out before I put the new seal in. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to get those out. Well, that doesn't want to loosen up. So I'm going to try a little bit of this weasel piss that guy sent me there. I appreciate it, and we're going to send me a couple jugs of it so that I can try it. All right. Smells like peppermint. But that seal is stuck in there. So while I let that one sit, I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Now, this one's a little trickier because it's up inside there. Washer out of there once she comes out. So the big piece must be still in the bottom of the other one. I'm not seeing it here. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here because this is solid rust. That off, let it sit. Yeah, now we're going to take our forks apart. So in order to get the caps off, put them on a little bit of an angle here. Now there could be a little bit of pressure on the cap when you go to take it off, so you have to be prepared for that when you spin it out. Yeah. I knew we'd have some left in there that wanted to come out. Well, they weren't stuck. Yeah! Like I said, be prepared for them to come out. This is the top plunger piece on these old forks. Everything's still moving in there. Looks good. And it had this little spacer in there for the 2-inch over tubes. But we're gonna put 6s in there, so. Come on out, baby. Pretty sure what it's still inside I've got to get out. I can't see in there, so the bottom pieces of the whole plunger assembly need to come out yet. It's like they're binding up in there. Shouldn't be. Alright, I don't know what's going on there exactly. That inner plunger doesn't seem to want to come out for some reason, so we'll have to have a little better look at it and see what we can do. I'm gonna have to try a little different approach to get the plunger out of there. I don't know exactly what yet, but they're not coming out and they gotta come out to go into the front end, so we'll have to work away at it. Nothing ever goes smooth. Nothing. So we gotta get the dampener out. The dampener is a little unit like that that's inside of there. And it tends to be a little bit stuck around the top there. Usually you can just turn them upside down and give them a little tap on something. But these ones aren't moving. So what I've done is take a rod, which is about, bigger than the thread on the end of that plunger. And I just feel in there so I can feel that. And we're right near the end now. There we go. So like I say, I just used a rod that was a little bigger than the threaded end and just set it on there gently, making sure that you're hitting on it, and give it a few taps and out it comes. All right, so those look good. And these are used done. All right, we'll parts aside a little bit here, it's gonna be a little messy. Give her a little wipe there and give me a fighting chance. You're not quite so slippery. Okay, now we gotta go out and get our 6-inch over tubes, and I'm hoping they came with spacers. They should, being a set, but you never know. I got a couple pieces here to clean up and wire brush a little bit, and then we'll start the assembly once I get the seals out of those forks. So they've been sitting for a while. Don't want to come off, so we're just going to kind of work it around. My soul. She don't want to come out. So, it's looking like it's, no sir. All right then. The only other thing left to do now is to soften it up. So we'll give it a little bit of heat. Boy, howdy. Boys, still don't want to come out of there. Yeah, just broke the seal, that's all. You gotta come out now, buddy. Come on. You gotta pop out of here. Come on. There we go. She was in there. God, she's a mess in there. I'm gonna have to sand that out lightly to clean the debris out of there. Whew, bad. She's bubbling and cooking. There we go. She's a thing of rare beauty. A little bit of heat make the world go round. All right, so we'll let those cool down, and then I'll get my little disc thing and start cleaning that out and make sure we got a decent groove here for the spring clip. I think so. I think we just gotta clean it up. It's always one of these things that you think it's just going to take 5 minutes. We'll just swap them fork tubes out and Bob's your uncle. Don't always work like that. All right, we're gonna have to go along, clean these all up, get them ready, and check out our other tubes and see if they're ready to put in there, whether we got the extensions or not that we need, and move on from there. Okay. So we got a little bit of a mess here in the end of our fork tube, getting those fork seals out and such, and they've been in there for a long period of time. So we're gonna have to try and clean them out. I'm gonna take a little tiny 120 disc here and just lightly go in, and I just wanna try and clean any of the rust or debris that I see in there. It's pretty hard to see in there exactly what it's like, but it kind of gives you an idea. And she's pretty cruddy around the edges and stuff, so we want the seal to be able to seal on a nice surface. So we're going to try and clean that up. I may try to scrape it first just to see what it's like. Because like I said, I don't want to take any extra off of there so that the seals won't seal. So I'm hesitant to do too much, and I may be able to just... I think I'm going to be able to scrape this clean. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and scrape it all out first before I even touch it with that, because I might be able to clean it up with that and a little bit of hand sandpaper. So when I got it cleaned up, I'll come back and let you have a look. So I'm just going to try and take this little round sort of disc thing in here, and I just want to try and clean up a little bit in there where the C-clip goes, because there is some deterioration and crud and a mess in there, and it's just where the clip goes. So sometimes when stuff gets old, it can't be perfect. But you can try to make it as perfect as you can, and as long as you can keep it functional, that the part will function as it's supposed to, then you've saved another one. It's easy to discard things today. I bet you I've got some little, I know what I need. I know what I need. One of these little polishing sort of wheels in there now. I think will probably work just right. Just to clean it up. Getting it out around the outer edge is the thing, where the crud was. Make sure we can put that seal in there. I'd say that's about cleaned it up pretty good in there. As good as you could expect for an old FLH leg from 49 to 77. But we've cleaned the grooves out. We've made a nice clean groove in there for the C-clip to go on. And we've cleaned out the surface for the seal by scraping it out and just a little bit of buffing there. So we didn't take any material out of there, so to speak. We just took rough edges of stuff that had built up from the rust and things that were built up in there. So it's worth the time. You could look like that and try to shove a seal in on it and a C-clip, or it could look like that. So I'm gonna go along and do the other one, and then when that's done, we can go along and begin to assemble the front end. Of course, I'm gonna wash all the legs out and everything out, all them out good, and shake them up and clean them and wash them and soap and water and everything with them. But we'll get them all cleaned up, and then assemble our 6-inch over, and we are ready to go out and stick them on the bike. So next time Aaron comes down to look, he should be pleased with it. I gotta try and get the wheel changed the first of the week, and then we're a step closer. And probably next week I'll look at some of the wiring in it. Is what I'm at. So that's an ongoing saga there. We're still working away on it, and Margaret's away for powder. So I'm going to try to clean up these other things while I'm working away at it, and try to get some things done. And then probably when Margaret comes back, I can start assembling. And of course, the one chore that I have to do yet is to build the 4-speed transmission for it, the ratchet top for it. So, but we'll get it done. You know, I can only get so much done in so much time. So my priority this year: get out, have some fun, do some riding, not be stuck in here fixing things. And that's the plan. So some things take time, some to go quick. Everything will get done in time. So stick with us. All right, let's have a look at that other fork leg. Now, we're just gonna kind of recut the groove. And that should do that. I've cut that groove for the C-clip in there. Nice and clean. Just a little bit of reinforcement there. Make sure it doesn't pop out. There we go. And that one looks better as well. Now we'll have to get on with the legs, I guess. Okay. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. We love it, and it helps our channel to grow. Stick with it as we move along this summer. There'll be a lot of different projects on the go. Not to belittle Margaret or anything, but we've got things to do, so we're also working along with that. So stay tuned for next week when we get the FLH front end finished and put together, and we get it on Aaron's bike so he can have a look at it and see. Probably get the front wheel on. We got some things to do. Next 2 weeks we're going to try and push on this so that Aaron can take it home and finish up what he wants to finish on it, get some rest of the season in. So stick with us for the next few weeks. We're going to be doing those sort of things. We also got to do Margaret's transmission. We got positive things to do on the go. Thanks for supporting us. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. I'll see you next week.